Hello, welcome to this update for the U.S. and Canada. So let's see what's what's happening, what will happen this week, because we have those winter weather systems parts of Canada and the northwest and some severe weather coming up. So let's see. We have now that system there. We have some rain in Canada and some rain in parts of the northwest and some snow, including some snow here shows some probabilities part of the northwest and in the northeast some slight probabilities too. So, but shows some higher probabilities northern Washington, some higher probabilities there, and more like British Columbia and Alberta, some very high snowfall probabilities there, and more across eastern Canada and parts of the northeast. And then later this week, like Tuesday, it keeps showing more snow on the west, especially Montana there, and some areas. Then Wednesday shows more snow in the Rockies, especially in Colorado and Wyoming, showing a lot of snow there. Later Wednesday, this is really crazy. It shows like some really insane snowfall probabilities in Wyoming on Wednesday, Utah, in many areas. So we'll keep watching that. And here the like freezing rain probabilities, they're very small, but yeah, might be a thing or two mixed with that snow. So be aware. Excessive rainfall, still nothing. Day 2, still nothing for Monday. Tuesday, still nothing. And Wednesday, a marginal risk there. So from Texas to Wisconsin, some excessive rainfall. And day 5 for Thursday, another marginal. So be aware of some heavy rain. The snowfall probabilities here. So those ones are like I showed before, some snowfall accumulating probabilities. This like probability of snowfall, like yeah. So let's see. Today there's that a lot of snow there in parts of northern Washington and Canada and Oregon. Tomorrow more into Montana and Idaho, especially central Oregon, the mountains in Colorado too. Day 3 shows a lot in Wyoming there, northern Utah, Wyoming, Colorado. This will be Tuesday. Wednesday shows some more across Oregon, parts of Washington especially. Thursday shows more across Idaho, parts of Oregon especially. And day 6, Friday shows some more there in the northwest. So yeah, be aware, especially day 3 in Wyoming, in those areas. Precipitation shows that rain in the northwest from the atmospheric river and some in the southeast, some storms in the ocean there. Day 2 for shows this is Tuesday, so day 1 is Monday. This is very weird, but yeah. So this Monday, then Tuesday shows more Colorado, more in Wyoming. Most of that will be snow. It shows more parts of the northeast a little bit into Canada, more there. Day 3 shows more in the northwest again on Wednesday, and in the plains, more in Kansas, parts of Wyoming and Minnesota especially, and to Canada shows more rain. Day 4, Thursday, shows more from Texas to Michigan, especially Texas to Tennessee, close to 1 inch and a half or 2 inches. Shows more in Oregon still. Day 5, Friday, shows more there in the central south central, more in the northwest. Day 6 shows more in the plains again on Saturday, and some rain in California and parts of the west. Day 7, summer rain across the southwest, and more rain from Texas to Michigan, especially in Oklahoma and Kansas, parts of Missouri shows more rain. So day 1 through 7, take a look at this. Shows more than 3 to 4 inches in the plains. So there'll be a lot of rain and storms throughout this week there. It shows more in the northwest, like more than 5 inches in those peaks there, those mountain peaks. But most of that will be snow. But be aware there. So let's see. Here we have some red flag warnings, parts of the northeast, some special weather statements for like some dry conditions and fire, and some wind advisories in the southwest, red flag warnings in the northern high plains, and winter weather advisories in northern Washington and parts of southern Montana, and wind warnings northern Montana still. So be aware, winter weather advisories, southern Alaska, and heavy freezing spray in some oceans there, north of Alaska in some areas. And still we got plenty of flood watches in Hawaii, and winter weather advisory in the peaks of the mountain there. So be aware, because this the satellites. There were more storms yesterday, but still shows some rain and storms around Hawaii there. So be aware in low-lying areas and everything with those flood advisors. So be aware, and this always changes. So check in the description to see like uh, what might happen the next warnings. So the temperatures are still some 90s in the south, 91, and especially some May is actually in the south, southeast, and some 90s in the southwest, colder in the northwest and northeast. And then Sunday night to Monday morning, tonight until tomorrow morning, shows it's colder in the northeast, all the way to low 20s Fahrenheit. So be aware there. Some 20s all the way down to northern Virginia, some 30s, some more 30s and 20s in the northwest. Depends on your elevation. You'll be colder in the higher elevations, like in some very low elevations of Washington, it might be like some 40s, and yeah, so it depends on your elevation, but very cold in some of those areas. Then Monday afternoon shows 90s all the way into Kansas there. More cold in the northwest during the day too, especially in the mountains, those blues there. And shows the northeast kind of coldish, and some is in the southeast. And then Monday night to Tuesday morning shows very cold in the northeast and northwest, especially New England, some like 22, 21 Fahrenheit there. So be aware. Some 20s in Nevada and California, the Sierra Nevada, those purples might be like very low teens, and like some 20s in the mountains of Montana and all the areas. So be aware of the cold. Tuesday afternoon shows still very cold in the mountains, even during the day. You see in Wyoming especially, and some May is still ahead of that front there. You can see this kind of clear boundary. So yeah, be aware those hard temperatures in the south. And uh, Tuesday to Wednesday shows some low 20s, and those purples, there are many purple areas in the Rockies of Colorado, in Utah, in Wyoming, Nevada. So all those like purplish areas will be like less than 20 Fahrenheit, some 15, even lower than that in the highest peaks of Montana. So be careful. Some 20s in North Dakota, Montana, some 30s, so be aware. And in the northern part of Maine, still cold, so be aware. Day 4 shows still like some very cold in the mountains there for Wednesday during the day, and generally chillier in the northwest. Still kind of very hot in southern Texas and Florida, and some areas of southern Georgia, Louisiana. So be aware. And this is Wednesday night to Thursday, shows very cold temperatures, Colorado, Wyoming there. So be aware those areas. The model has here downwards of 12 Fahrenheit, so 22, 14. Those higher peaks there, Colorado, close to that 12, maybe close like minus than 10 Fahrenheit. So be aware those areas. Some 20s in parts of the Dakotas, some 30s in other areas, so very cold. Be aware. And Thursday during the day shows still cold in the mountains there, more like 80s in the south, southeast, some 70s. So be aware those areas. And shows the other night, Thursday to Friday, shows more 20s and teens in the mountains of the west, 19 Fahrenheit in Nevada, some 20s there, 21, 15. So please be aware of the cold. And this time the cold goes all the way into Michigan, all the way from Washington to Michigan, those blues there. So be aware. Friday during the day shows still very cold in the mountains there, but still kind of hot in the southeast and south. Saturday morning shows yet again some 20s, low 20s and 30s in the west, especially like in the mountains there, Montana, many areas, some low 20s. In New England again, show like some 20s Fahrenheit, so be aware. Next Saturday during the day, show like, let's see, that's November 2nd, yeah. Show still kind of cold in the mountains and kind of hot from Texas to Florida. So yeah, be aware. And some like 4 is 50s in the north, outside the mountain areas. So be aware. The 24 max wind gusts still more than 50 mile per gusts occasionally, parts of northern Montana. 60, those yellows are like 60, so be aware. So there are gusty winds in Montana. Those higher peaks of California, as you can see, those very small yellowish brownish areas could get upwards of 65 mile per gust in the mountains occasionally. Wyoming too, so be aware in those areas. The 48-hour snowfall, let's see, today's Sunday afternoon, so until Tuesday, shows more snow in Washington, more in parts of the California, Sierra Nevada, some in Nevada, some in Colorado, but more in Montana and Idaho there, and Oregon. It will be heavier in the mountains of Oregon and Washington there. Shows a tiny hint in the northeast. So yeah, be aware those areas. And let's see here. So, and 24-hour ice doesn't really show much. Yeah, so be aware those areas. And the fire conditions still elevated in the northeast because of those windy conditions, like the wind, and some dry conditions, kind of dry there too. So be aware. That's conducive for fires spreading. So be careful not to cause any fires. And shows some elevated too from northern Colorado to central Montana. So be aware. Tomorrow shows a big area of elevated all the way from southern Nevada to central Kansas. So be aware tomorrow. There'll be some very gusty winds there starting tomorrow. So they might help to fuel the fire. And like, let's see here. So in terms of severe weather, still nothing. Today shows a storm or two in Texas, to Alabama, but nothing crazy. In the northwest there, might be a storm or two, but very little. Tomorrow, Monday, shows just some general storms in the northwest, in the midwest, a storm or two, and shows maybe a storm or two in parts of the west there, near Utah, Nevada, northern Arizona, Colorado. So be aware, but nothing crazy. Starting Tuesday, we have that bigger marginal risk there, from Kansas to Wisconsin. So let's see. Isolated severe thunderstorms with hail, strong wind gusts will be possible Tuesday night from the Central Plains northeastward to the upper Mississippi Valley. So be aware there. Mainly some hail and strong wind gusts there. Tuesday, and then a storm or two in parts of eastern Florida, Texas, and other areas for day 3. But day 4, we have that 15% there already in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas. So that is equivalent to like a slight risk. So there'll be like a slight risk for Wednesday, mainly for some hail and gusty winds. But let's see. An upper level trough is forecast to move eastward to the Central Rockies and Northern Plains on Wednesday, as you can see here with the GFS. This trough digging down there on Wednesday, starting to affect the plains. As an associated mid-level jet translates eastward into the mid-Missouri Valley, and at the surface, a cold front is forecast to move southeastward across the upper Midwest and Central Plains. Scattered thunderstorm development along ahead of the front during the afternoon. Sufficient stability is combined with strong low-level flow and lift associated with upper-level trough will be favorable for some severe storms in that region. So yeah, they even say for Thursday, isolated strong severe storms possible along parts of the front where the surface temperatures are warm enough. but the strongest mid-level flows forecast over the Mississippi and lower Ohio valleys suggesting that potential organized severe convection could be displaced away from the strongest instability. That's Thursday, so that's why they didn't put anything Thursday. Friday, nothing crazy, but be aware. They say here, if this environment can materialize, supercell development with large hail and severe ingus can occur Wednesday afternoon, and a chance for very large hail is possible in the more intense cells. Isolated tornado threat also appears possible Wednesday in those areas there. So be aware, Texas, Oklahoma, parts of Missouri and Arkansas and Kansas for Wednesday there. Day 5, still nothing. Day 6, day 7, day 8. So be aware those areas, and let's see, as you can see with the GFS, the trough, there's the like severe weather. Let's see Cape if it has something for Wednesday. So here does show some Cape, parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and some in Texas there, but not much. Let's see here. So this is Thursday, right? Let's go a little bit before, like Wednesday evening. So like, around Wednesday evening, does show some more Cape in Oklahoma, northern Texas. Might be enough for some storms there, but nothing crazy. So as you can see here, the system with all that snow there in the Rockies, it comes. This like Wednesday shows later Wednesday some storms there. The cold front shows heavy rain on Thursday. The heavier rain shows goes east there, and yeah, so be aware those areas. There's the European model too, shows like the system on the northwest. The snow there. This is Tuesday, and Wednesday shows Wednesday afternoon those severe storms there. So be aware those areas. So now in Canada, those systems some snow in Quebec today and parts of Labrador, especially snow in Alberta and northwestern territories, parts of Nunavut. So let's see, the GFS has that system going there for like central, like Canada. It has that snow there, but it goes into Alberta and Manitoba, goes north there into Nunavut, so North America again. So you can see here, Tuesday arrives some snow northern Manitoba and Nunavut, and it brings snow to northern Quebec late Tuesday into Wednesday too. And then that cold front in the U.S., the GFS does show snow even in the Dakotas there, and shows more into Ontario, Quebec. It does show Thursday some snow behind that cold front in Quebec there. So yeah, it has another Pacific system in Alaska on November 1st to heavy snow there in British Columbia too. So we need to monitor that. And November 4th, the GFS is spawning a big system like in Ontario with a lot of snow into Quebec. So we need to monitor that and more systems afterwards. So be aware. There's the European, it has the snow in Western Canada there, a lot in British Columbia and Alberta, and brings that snow throughout northern Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and goes into Nunavut. On Tuesday, shows more snow in Nunavut. Northern Quebec might have some, and it brings a Pacific system arrive into Alaska there on tomorrow, Monday. Shows more snow in Alaska, it goes to southern Alaska with some very heavy snow, and then Wednesday shows more snow parts of British Columbia, Yukon, still southern Alaska, and it brings snow like late Wednesday into Thursday, snow all the way down to Oregon and parts of Washington, into Idaho and more areas. So be aware. And then it has some scattered snow in northwestern territories and Quebec, especially behind that cold front on Wednesday and Thursday in Quebec there. And it has another Pacific system in Alaska starting next Thursday, and more heavy rain and snow across the northwest there. So be aware, especially on November 5th, has yet again another Pacific system in Alaska with more snow there. So we will need to monitor those systems there, but nothing that crazy right now. But later, be aware. So here it does show that snow there and the rain, British Columbia and those areas, and some scattered snow in other areas. So it does show here like new snow just in the next day. Alright, it shows more snow in British Columbia, some in Alberta, more in Saskatchewan, shows more snow in Alaska starting already, and parts of northwestern territories and Nunavut, northern Saskatchewan there. Yeah, it shows some snow in Newfoundland, northern Nova Scotia. Just in the next day has more than 29 centimeters northwestern Nova Scotia, more a little bit in New Brunswick, more in Labrador there. And then if I put this until November 1st, already shows more snow through Alaska there because of those systems. And northern Alaska, not much. Mainly southern Alaska shows more in Yukon, northwestern territories, Nunavut showing more snow there. More southern British Columbia, especially, shows a lot in those mountains there. Alberta shows some, especially northern and western Alberta. And then it has that trail of snow there, Ontario and Quebec, because of that cold front. Shows more northern Quebec and Labrador and those areas, so be aware. The GFS has a similar thing too, but the GFS has snow in the Dakotas and Minnesota too. The European doesn't have that. It has a tiny hint in Minnesota, but not much. And let's see, it has the GFS is more northern Saskatchewan, Nunavut, and those areas there. The icon has a little bit more in Wisconsin, parts of Minnesota, but not much. And it has the trail in Ontario and Quebec with more snow there. And it has most of southern Alaska, a lot of snow. So be aware. And now these winds are really crazy there in the icon. Shows more than 100 km per gusts in southern British Columbia there, in northern Montana, close to 70 mile per hour gusts, all the way to 71. Shows more in Idaho there, other parts of Montana. But the European has just 49 mile per hour gusts, and the icon has 70. So it really depends on the model. And the GFS is like 43 mile per gust. So the models are very different. But does show those gusty winds in the Sierra Nevada, California, and then let's see, starting like Tuesday, late Tuesday, shows more winds in Oklahoma, in Arizona there, Southern California, upwards of 40 miles per hour in many areas, and then show like later Tuesday shows close to 50 miles per hour in parts of New Mexico and Arizona. So be aware. And the European really kicks those winds up late Wednesday afternoon. So it gets in New Mexico close to 60 mile per hour gusts in New Mexico, like some 40 to 62 mile per hour gusts in southern Colorado. So really be aware. In Kansas, Oklahoma has more than 50, 40 mile per hour gusts. And then, yeah, and then the GFS has also a big area of gusty winds, but not as strong as the European. The icon has even stronger. It has like some 59, 60 mile per hour gusts, but like a little bit later, it has reports of like some 62 mile per hour gusts, especially in Colorado there, like 62. So be aware. Shows more parts of Utah too, especially in Kansas, Oklahoma, some more gusty winds. And this will be like late Tuesday into Wednesday. So yeah, and then Wednesday does show that cold front keep moving. This will be about the time those storms will be happening. Shows more than 40 mile per hour gusts. Those areas. Then it goes to the Midwest. Some gusty winds. And yeah, be aware those areas. And let's see here. So this is the icon now. It shows like 69 mile per hour gusts on Tuesday. So yeah, we'll keep monitoring that. So be aware. And now shows we have that system there. Then it does show some stronger winds, Hudson Bay, near Nunavut, Manitoba, like 74 mile kilometer per gusts, and especially like near New Brunswick, some slightly gustier winds Monday, and then shows the system Hudson Bay, northern Quebec should get some strong winds, and then yeah, and maybe Labrador, northern Quebec Thursday with that cold from there, so be aware. And then we have that Pacific system in Alaska starting Tuesday, shows already like late Mondays, some strong winds in western Alaska there, and here shows upwards of 40 to 42 miles per hour. But starting Tuesday shows that bigger low pressure system setting up, so some of the northern Aleutian Islands should get more strong winds, and then like late Tuesday into Wednesday shows some really southern areas of Alaska there, more than 50 mile per hour gusts, so be aware. And then most of southern Alaska's those southernmost areas more than 40 mile per hour gusts on Wednesday, starting in British Columbia, right? Some stronger gusts, and then it kind of goes there. Might leave a little bit lighter, stronger gusts near Oregon and Northern California on like Thursday, but nothing that crazy. But the European really kicks up those winds in like Nunavut. This will be Thursday, more than 80 to 90 kilometer per hour gusts near the Hudson Bay, so be aware. And later on, it has this ridiculous system coming up on November 1st into Alaska with more than 122 kilometer per hour gusts in the Aleutian Islands. There'll be more than 70 mile per hour gusts. So we really have to monitor that next one. So be aware there. The temperature's still very cold there in parts of Canada, some 0, -20, -3, so be aware. It fluctuates a lot throughout the days. Like Tuesday shows all the way into southern Saskatchewan, some negative temperatures, show like northern Quebec and Labrador too. And then ahead of that cold front on Wednesday shows southern Canada all the way to like some 22 degrees, southern Ontario. But like that system comes and it brings the cold all the way down to southern Manitoba, some 0, -4 degrees in Ontario. This is Friday, November 1st. So yeah, be aware of those cold temperatures. And like on Wednesday shows all the way most of Saskatchewan, practically all of Alberta and Saskatchewan, so negative temperatures, Manitoba. So be aware. In the afternoon it warms up, of course, but in the coldest part of the day, very cold, so be aware. And then in Alaska, some -27 Celsius, close to -15 Fahrenheit, some -11, -7. This would be like some 15 Fahrenheit, some 20. So like, let's see, 14 Fahrenheit, -14 Fahrenheit. So be aware, very cold, but it also fluctuates there, depends on the day. Some days might be a little less cold in southeastern Alaska, but be aware.